Now, you may only see a pile of receipts, but I see a story. I can see where this story is going. It does not look good. What's happening?
Hot dog fingers. What a concept. If you haven't seen this film, that has no context, okay? Hi guys, welcome to a video, and in today's video, I'm just going to be reviewing the film Everything Everywhere All at Once. I recently saw this film at the cinema and it was a trip. Probably not that far removed from an actual acid trip. I wouldn't know, but I assume. Where do I even begin with this film? It was insane, and yet it somehow worked. They somehow pulled it off. It was so refreshing, yet at the same time quite cliche. Okay, there's a lot to unpack with this film, so let's get into it. So Everything Everywhere All at Once is about an unlikely hero who must channel her newfound powers to fight bizarre and bewildering dangers from the multiverse as the fate of the world hangs in the balance. As I say, there's a lot to unpack with this film, but let's start with what I loved most about it and what made this film stand out so much to me. Firstly, it was so refreshing to see an older woman in a superhero role, which in cinema is a role traditionally reserved for men or for younger women. Michelle Yeoh did a fantastic job. Her acting abilities are just so on point. She was able to embody and express a multitude of emotions in this film and just has fantastic comedic timing. And as I say, it was refreshing to see not only her character Evelyn in a role which is typically not given to older women, but also the way that Evelyn is raw, humanized and fleshed out, because it's still unfortunately rare to see women portrayed in that kind of a light. So many older women in acting careers are pretty limited in the roles that they are offered and are so often an afterthought or invisible in the world of film, and Everything Everywhere All at Once really turns that on its head. I loved the action in this film. In fact, the action may be my favourite thing about this film because wow, the choreography, the editing, the cinematography all pack an incredible punch and keep you captivated throughout the entire film. I was particularly engrossed by the fighting scenes in this film, and in fact my favourite part of this film may have been the fight scene between Evelyn and Deirdre, because it was so absurd and yet so mind-blowingly fantastic to watch. In fact, the absurdity of this film is one of the things which just makes it so delicious, and it had me laughing out loud several times. I mean, hot dog fingers, enough said. But this film is so much more than just a surface level action film. It also explores the complexity of family relationships, romantic relationships, age, generational differences, immigration, hard work and mental health. The overall message of the film is a positive one. It's about breaking the chain of generational trauma and expanding limited ways of thinking that are destructive to relationships. I love the way this film treated lesbianism and sexuality as well. It normalizes lesbianism, yet at the same time portrays how it can cause friction within certain types of families, and it was interesting that Joy's lesbianism was explored through the eyes of her mother rather than her. It was Evelyn who had to come to terms with it, not her daughter, and film carries a message of gay and lesbian acceptance without being preachy or bashing the audience over the head. And I was really impressed with that aspect of the film. I don't really have any objective criticisms. The film is incredibly well made. The acting is fantastic. The editing and cinematography are airtight. It's mostly very well written, but on a subjective level, I did find the film a little bit cliche in places, and at times felt like I was being spoon-fed an undergraduate essay on existentialism. There was a lot of repetition around things like life is meaningless, what is it all for, it's the small things that matter, and for me personally, I just found that grating slightly on my nerves. I think it's because we all have our own perceptions of life and the meaning of it. Whenever a movie tries to attempt a deep take about what it's all for, which happens a lot in film and television, it always seems to be the same basic ideas regurgitated in different wording, and this movie is no different to the next in that regard. Also, perhaps not really relevant to this review, but I will mention I had no emotional connection with this film, and I only mention this because so many people have said that this film made them emotional or made them cry, and I just wasn't moved by it in any way whatsoever. But as I say, those are my subjective thoughts. What I enjoyed the most about this film was its absurdity, the comedic edge, and the fact that it offers its audience something refreshing, something up to date and intelligent representation. I feel like this film was a gamble, but ultimately it paid off, and that is what we need. I feel like we need more films like this. We really do. I mean, I can tell how much work went into a film like this, and it's just bitching. But if I compare this film to a lot of the other cinema that's out there or coming out at the moment, oh my god, it stands out. It stands out in a good way, and I would love to see more films like this, you know? That is what we need, because a lot of the stuff that's coming out is just regurgitated and repackaged nonsense, you know? And I definitely appreciated the Sapphic elements of this film. I did. I am appreciating it. Okay guys, if you've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments section below. If you're a lesbian, if you're a woman who likes other women, come and join the Sapphic Underground Club. Just everybody's in the club. No, joining the Sapphic Underground Club is the equivalent of being kissed by a soft kitten. Don't forget to subscribe for instant disappointment, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.